And good evening, everyone who is here a little early.
Get the bubbles. Get them.
For those who have joined us live, you can see that we're a little distracted here this evening because my wife has decided to take out the bubbles with Bruno. So this is Bubble Time with Bruno, not the Flight Test Community Podcast. We're on hold with that. So
we're just gonna watch Bruno pop bubbles all night long.
We're just gonna enjoy bubble popping with Bruno. So, sorry guys, the show has been postponed while we enjoy the entertainment of Bruno, who is not currently in doggy jail.
But please feel free to comment on Bruno's bubble popping form.
Yes. It's really distracting, actually, trying to record a show and having bubbles fly by the camera.
Well, and then a dog flying after them.
Yeah.
That's even more distracting.
That's quite entertaining. I haven't even brought up the live feed to see if anyone's chatting.
He's too
that might be important.
Get Bruno.
Oh, look at that. Ow, that got nailed in the eye.
Oh, nothing like some soap in the eye.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
That's good.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right, let's do...
That's what happens when you have a bunch of brothers. No matter what happens, somebody
gets poked in the eye. Somebody always gets pumped in the eye.
Yep, either poked or something. Something always goes in an eyeball.
Yep, no, that's the truth. Hey, we got Blake and Rattle RC joining us for the beginning of the live broadcast.
What up?
How's it going, guys? Anyway, so for those who haven't met Allison, this is Allison. This is the one I always talk about.
Behind her back.
Yep, exactly. She's a great sport. She allows me to do this all day, every day. I never spend any time with her. That is a blaspheming lie. Oh, so apparently this is kitty time too. Oh boy.
Which one's that?
That is Yoda with Allison.
That's Yoda? Okay.
Yeah. And Nala running away. Oh, actually, Nala's sitting on the other side here. Oh, boy.
It's still funny watching Bruno.
Yeah, it is.
Bruno is the best.
Bruno is fantastic. Aren't you?
Oh, Sammy came down for a visit. What's up,
There you
Sambo?
go. See? It's dog hour here at FTCC. While we get the show
Come
going.
here, say hi. Come up here and say hi. I'm gonna lift his lard butt up. Oh, say hello. Look at him.
Oh, Sam.
It's a big fat puppy dog. Oof.
All right, Sambo. I'll stop freaking you out now.
Yeah, he's already
Yeah.
bored with it.
Yep.
He's like walking away.
How old is Sam
Okay,
now?
how do I...
He's 6.
So he's tired of the shenanigans of, say, a 1-year-old.
He's a pretty chill dog.
Yeah.
He's pretty laid back.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
How do
Bruno,
I get my camera to go back and forth again now between everybody when they start talking?
just unclick from me.
How do you do that?
There
you go.
Yep, there you go, just like that.
I just found it. Okay.
Yep. All right, so back to regular broadcasting.
Goodness, we have 10 minutes before broadcast time. How did we manage this?
Well, because we like to actually build the audience up a little bit and get people to join us. Why would we want to do a thing like that? That's a great question, Allison.
So I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. I working on that MiG-23 foam board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I kind of took a shot at estimating the per square inch weight of foam board.
0.29 is what you said, if I remember.
0.20. Scale reads 0.20 grams.
There you
That's
go.
Not bad.
Pat myself.
Yeah. Good job, Pat.
Thank you.
Good job, Pat.
You don't have to say that, but I appreciate it.
I'll pat you on the back Thursday.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, well, you know what? Bite me, you two.
Arr.
Yeah, these two, for those who haven't heard, are going out to Ohio, but I'm sure you guys will talk about that.
It's a secret. We're not going to tell anybody.
Yeah, it's a secret. We're not telling anybody.
Oh, fine, sure. Then I don't know what the hell you guys are doing.
Neither do we.
Yeah, we don't have a clue either.
That's great.
I haven't known what I've been doing for, oh my God, 53 years now.
Really?
53? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Check you out.
46 for me, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get this going.
53 going on 150.
That's how I feel today.
That sounds painful.
It kind of is. And then you wonder why I'm grumpy.
No reason in particular.
Dude, my knees today did not work, basically. I tried to stand up or put one foot in front of the other, and my knees were just like grinding on each other. It was horrible.
That sounds like fun.
Oh. It's not fun. No.
No. Oh, go away.
Wow, we've already got 10 people watching.
Yep. And we haven't really even got
Yeah.
we haven't done anything. Done.
Well, do we ever do anything?
Not much. I don't, anyway. I try not to.
I was basically in bed all day, so you see how I roll.
Well, I was out with a friend of mine most of the day. Came back to an apartment with no power.
You were grumpy about it too.
I was super
Yeah, you
grumpy about it. But it's okay because I got to throw my DLG around.
Oh, cool.
Which was
Find any thermals?
I did actually.
Sweet.
Good number of them.
Fun stuff.
Which I was actually really, really happy about. I need
Hey, John.
file new multi-track.
John Davis.
What it do? All right,
John
this is-
cleaned out his garage today, and it made the
Well,
mistake
apparently
of
he's
asking
okay,
his
and his
to
wife
help.
didn't kill him.
Yeah, yet.
Wait, what? His wife hasn't killed him yet?
No, apparently not. He's here talking about the party people. So.
Unless
Well,
that's his
that's
wife
fantastic.
logged in under his account to try to do more research on what he's up to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a possibility.
It's gonna be front left, and kill. I really, 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 really like this new thing for the podcast. This is
Oh, the
gonna
new
be
recording
great.
studio thing.
Yeah,
Nice, man.
I like it a lot. It is going to be
Awesome.
super good.
I like anything that makes me look good.
Well, see, I don't know if you guys took a listen after I released them, but I have some tools in here that made your voices sound extra masculine.
Well, that's just what I need.
Yeah,
I got the bass, huh?
yeah, you do.
Nice.
Yeah, you do. And you
Oh,
guys
that means John didn't finish his base or his garage. That's why he's still alive.
that makes sense then.
She has yet to see all the stuff.
Yet
I said
to.
yet.
So he shut down the operation real quick. Is what he's saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. He's like, no, I'll just go ahead and stop now because you don't need to see
Yeah, honey,
that.
I'm worn out. I just want to spend time with you.
Yeah, ain't that the way it always works?
That's all right.
Okay, edit. I need to. What is that?
I wish we didn't have this lag like we do. I mean, we need a little bit, but
Yeah, no, I agree.
it's quite the lag.
You mean between the YouTube and the?
Yeah.
But yeah,
live.
between what we say and how our guests react, it's a
Yeah.
little annoying.
a little bit.
It is a little annoying.
You know what the truth is?
Sickbed
It,
and
it takes
master.
those guys a while to process it. They just really.
Maybe
not
that's
that
what it is.
sharp, I think.
Or it's us.
I
It takes a
mean,
while to process.
They're
Well,
listening to us, so you know. you gotta
That's
question.
definitely. I mean, they have to process everything we say because Alrighty, mic check time. Muting you, Pat. Mike, go for it. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. Well, peace is.
Oh, I will never hold my peace. I think everyone knows that. So is that good, or do you need to do more? Apparently you need to do more. So slow typing. That's pretty good.
That'll do it. Okay, you're good, Mikey.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Patrick.
Chickity check, check, check.
Talk my ear off.
Okay. Your ears won't fall off because they're covered by your headphones, so I can't really talk it off unless you pull off your headphone, then it might fall out.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, good deal.
Am I good?
You all good? Thank you,
Do I
sir.
sound extra masculine?
Not until I put the the thingy on.
Just make sure you click the extra sexy masculine button when you do that.
Extra sexy masculine? I don't know if I can do that. I may have to try. Who's starting us out this week?
Some Barry White stuff.
Why don't you, since you
Yeah,
have been gone for a while?
Slacker.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. And recording. Beautiful. Testing. Just want to make sure that this is actually going. See, it didn't go. It was on to record and then it didn't. There it goes. Okay, that's better. Much better. All right. That should... Yep, that's going. Sweet.
Caroline. Bum, bum,
Just make sure this is still going. And it is. All right, gents. I'm ready to go. That actually...
Do you want me to record or anything?
Actually, I should be fine. Worst case scenario, I can pull the whole thing from YouTube.
Okay. Just checking.
But yeah, actually, all the levels are coming through really nicely.
Good.
So, and the nice thing is I can do some more advanced filtering in this thing, which means if I sound extra quiet, I can change and manipulate it. Okay.
That's just scary that he's going to manipulate.
Can you
something.
put applause and laugh tracks in the background?
I can manipulate everything. I can actually,
I
I'll
could do
probably...
Okay.
You know, I could
you don't
probably-
have to manipulate that part out.
I could probably put that at the beginning of the show with like a really weird reverb and just creep everybody out before we go. Actually,
No,
I
it's
do want to do one thing real quick. I want to do a show intro.
Okay, John. See you in a bit.
Yeah, catch you in a few minutes, John.
We'll
We'll be in for a
little. Jeez.
So here's what I need. You ready? Mike, can you say welcome to the Flight Test Community Podcast?
Welcome to the Flight Test Community Podcast.
Thank you, sir. Patrick, I need you to say for the community.
For the community.
One more time.
For the community.
By the community. Thank you.
By the community. You talked over me. What was that your line?
That was my line. But there you go. Now you have now everyone knows how the show is going to open from now on. So when you go into
Awesome.
iTunes and you start playing, it's going to be you first, then Pat, then me.
There you go.
And it's going to be
Can't wait to hear
beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. I don't even have to do reverb or anything. And then I'll do the FT intro.
Hey, Thomas.
What up,
Hey, Tim.
Thomas?
Yes, that was Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
You're
Ba,
welcome.
ba, ba. And this is why we are not allowed to serenade. Oh, boy.
We
Well,
could
not without a
sing.
guitar.
We should just like sing an entire podcast one of these things. Just like, you know, break out in song.
A musical
I think
podcast.
that-
What were you flying today?
I think that would be scary.
My DLG, doo-dah, doo-dah.
Oh, no. Oh,
Tom
no.
Farrell replied, so good, so good, so good. Love it.
Sing it out proud, boy.
Good times. Love it. All right. We should probably actually get this thing on the road since it's right on 8 o'clock. And those who are watching, we probably want to post it, don't we? Sorry. Mike, I'm a horrible human being.
Let me grab my YouTube and we'll post it up right now.
Yep, if you don't mind. Sorry.
I let the forum down this time because I didn't say anything about this podcast.
Oh,
They're gonna be so upset with you. You know who's gonna be the most upset with you?
Who's that?
Nope. Hold the flyer.
He's not gonna give me pancakes.
Nope, he ain't. Not if you don't do that. All right. Once Mike is all set up and ready to go, we'll get the show on the road. We're almost ready, guys. Sorry.
I'm working on it. I'm typing as fast as I can type,
Oh no,
guys.
you're fine. You're fine. Okay. That
Let's
looks like
do
it's all good.
this. Oh, I don't have to do that. Let's publish.
Beautiful.
Come on.
And then
Publish.
share it to FTCC.
Well, I'm working on it.
No, you're fine.
One
You're
step
fine.
at a time, Joel.
He's
Yeah,
fine.
come on.
Oh,
Share it to a page.
Do I look worried? I don't.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm staring at you really intensely right now. I can't see you though.
Oh, how?
I gotta stop hitting the stupid microphone with my head.
That would be advisable.
That can't sound good on the air.
No, actually, no, it doesn't.
Hey,
Eddie.
Edward.
He loves pancakes, apparently.
Eddie does?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Held the Flite does make a good pancake, though.
Oh,
Who doesn't love pancakes?
Flite does.
You know what else I like?
Toast.
Cookies.
Oh, don't tell me those are white chocolate chip macadamia nuts.
Actually, Allison had one of those.
Oh,
You know what,
my God,
my,
those are my favorite.
My mother came up for a visit this weekend, and she brought this huge container of chocolate chip cookies. I kind of want to go grab it now.
Well, you still have some time.
I know.
Oh, Mark South! What's going on, buddy? Oh, I have to talk about him. Oh, I need to get that thing out. Oh.
Don't talk about him now. He'll hear you.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to talk about Mark South right now.
No, that's the point. He sent me something. Thanks, Bruce. I needed your moral support. Ow. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, this is what we need to talk about.
I didn't see it. What was it?
Oh, is it a ham operator's course?
Yeah, it is.
Awesome.
Oh, there you go.
Mark is amazing. All right. So.
Spawns.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Spawns. My language is perfectly fine. Thank you. All right. I think we're just about ready to go. We're 3 minutes late. We're okay. All right. You ready? Hang on. Oh, sorry. 1 sec.
I'm being ready, son.
Oh, my God.
Where's he going?
I don't have a clue. And it was really funny because we were all set up ready to go like 15 minutes ago. And now we're. Hey, Michael.
Since Bruno is out of doggy jail, I want to make sure that all the doors are closed and secured so that I know where he is. Okay. Okay. All right. I think we're ready
All
to
right,
go.
Joel. Get us started, buddy.
Let's do it. 5 seconds of baseline silence, guys, starting now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Flight Test Community Podcast, episode 30. We made it!
We got 30. Oh, my God.
Now, it took us a little bit to get here, but from the bottom of all of our hearts, thank you. Thank you for your patience while we have broken through the magical number of 30.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for listening to us. I'm not sure why they do, but I'm glad they do.
Nope. Well, let's introduce ourselves real quick for the noobs, and we'll get this thing underway. So I am Joel, Joel Cannon. I go by Baby Brett. Who the heck are you, Mike?
I am Mike Finley. I'm also the magic one on the forums. And who's that other guy over there?
I don't know. He's doing something with foam, and it's scaring me.
I'm Patrick Murphy, and I am Earth Sci Teach on the forums.
And he is currently apparently doubling the podcast as a build night. So, because apparently he's been in bed all day. So what he intended to accomplish, he didn't. So therefore, he is currently. I think you're transferring plans, aren't you?
I'm cutting a test fuselage right now.
Oh, very good, very good. Are you using the new technique?
No, I don't have any glue sticks. I'm very sad about
What?
this.
Dude, that's terrible.
It's not good.
That is not good at all. So tonight, we really have a really loose agenda. And the idea being, for all of those who are joining us, we're probably going to do a little bit of a Q&A later on. But for the time being, we're going to take you through some really fun updates. We're going to take you through a little bit of our listener survey that we did. We'll also go into a little bit on our website, which is amazing. If you guys haven't been there, I definitely encourage you to do that while we talk about it. We're also going to do some host updates toward the end, and we're going to sign off with an update on the calendar.
Is it spelled correctly now?
Yes, it is. Sorry. This is why you don't let a dyslexic write a website.
Well, every time I spell that word, I spell it exactly like you did.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's the way I think. Am I right in saying I could be completely wrong? I don't think that is the English spelling, but that's how I have always spelled calendar. But
how you spelled it was not the English spelling.
I didn't think so. I knew I was wrong, but that's okay. Yeah, what is it? A boys of flight test calendar. Thanks, Luca.
I don't think anybody wants to see anything like that.
You just wait till you see my speedo, buddy.
Not that calendar.
Oh my God, no way.
It's an events page. So, okay, all right. Well, let's get this thing underway. So, guys, I have been off the air for a couple of weeks. I appreciate everyone's really warm wishes, prayers, all the rest of that amazing stuff that you guys sent. My grandfather is doing much better. Unfortunately, he is not able to travel up to Washington, D.C. and New York with us this weekend. But the more important thing is that he is doing well. He is feeling good. I was able to go down south and see him. And that was the more important part. So with that being said, we are going to kind of jump right into this. And bear with me just 1 second. See, the nice thing about being the editor is I can edit all the garbage out. And go into where our survey is. Where is it? Where is our survey?
What did you do?
There it is. I got it. No, I got it. All right. So for those of you who have listened to us for a while, back in March, we posted out a survey on our brand new website. And you guys, not only did you blow our expectations out of the water to the nth degree, you guys have given us some incredible feedback, some really amazing comments. And frankly, we could not thank you guys enough for everything that you were able to provide for us. It's going to help the show move in a great new direction. Not necessarily new, but in a better direction.
In an updated direction.
Updated direction.
In a coherent direction?
Thank you. Yes.
No, it's not going to be coherent. We will never be coherent.
Yeah, I figured that was too much of a stretch.
Yeah, coherent and the Flight Test Community podcast are things that don't go together very well.
Yeah.
But you guys have provided some incredible feedback. It was very eye-opening knowing how many of you guys used to not use the old website. The way that you guys were interacting with us previously. We've gone through some really incredible updates with that now, and seeing all the incredible comments that are flooding through it's making us better. And the fact that we now get the instantaneous responses from you guys on YouTube means that we can actually have a lot more interaction during the show, which is exactly what we wanted. So you guys are already starting to see the results of your feedback coming through with what we're beginning to do here.
If you were here early, the results basically are we want to see Bruno chase Bubbles.
Yes.
Yes.
And if you missed that, then
and we delivered.
Rewind and watch the beginning of the show. So first things first. Let's go. And what I'm going to do, just to make this more fun, is I'm going to share my screen, but I am going to do it only for the survey. That way you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so this is where we're at. So most of you guys who answered are from America. We figured that out already. Apparently, a lot of you guys are. I don't want to say all of you are grumpy, but most of you guys are in the older age group. So apparently, I have to be nicer to you all. So then we have experience. So this is where we start to get really interesting stuff. So apparently, most of you who are listening to us have only been in the hobby between 1 and 3 years. So that's really impactful because that means whatever we say, you guys are probably taking our advice because you probably don't know much different.
So we're sorry.
That's where I was going. Thank you, Pat. So first of all, sorry for taking our terrible advice because I hate to break it to you, but we're in that same category for the most part as well. So I can say that for a fact. Pat, I think you've been in it for what, 5-6 years now?
6 years.
6 years. Mike, how long have you been doing this?
Yeah, I've been doing it about 6.
Yeah, so we're all right in this age group right here in terms of hobby age. What's amazing to me is the number of people who are listening who've been in the hobby more than 10 years and still want to listen to us. So thank you for continuing to do so. Apparently, most of the people who listen to us as the Freefall guys would say are plankers. So yeah, welcome to the Planker Cast. Multi-rotors seem to be a hot trend as well, which we're not really surprised at. Not very many helicopters. That's probably Steve, Fred. Who else probably answered helicopters?
Steve,
Kevin, Nick. Yeah, they probably all answered that. I know exactly. Who do you think answered this? And for those of you who are listening only, there
Kevin.
is... Nope. So there is a category that I put for fun, and it was to call out one specific individual. And the option was gyrocopters. So guess who put gyrocopters? It was Dale Stratton.
Dale, yeah, of course it would be Dale.
And the reason is... For those of you who don't know, Dale is currently working on a 3D printed gyrocopter, a fully 3D printed gyrocopter. So, and Delta Dart apparently also answered that he flies helis. Why you would do that to yourself, I don't know. But I'm very glad that you enjoy it. And if I sound at all sarcastic, that is fully my intention. So here was another astounding piece of the puzzle. Have you attended an FTCC build night? Survey says most of you haven't. Saddens me greatly, but that's not surprising at the same time because we've only really just started to market this thing.
We've only just begun.
Yeah, exactly. So for all of I know, really. So for all of you who have not heard of FTCC build nights, we are currently building out the page that goes through all of the build nights information, and we're
build nights.
Hang on 1 second. One sec.
Put it on there.
Hang on. One sec. Yeah, where's my...
Jeff wants to build boss. We'll have a boss of build night.
This thing.
For 10 years.
Right here. This is build nights, okay? So what is build nights? Build nights is where the two other hosts of FTCC, that would be Eddie Black and Ben Greenwald, come on Greenewalt, I'm sorry, come on the air using the same channel. So you'll find it through FTCC YouTube, which, by the way, I updated. So you can now find the FTCC Build Night playlist on YouTube. And you can see our live build sessions. We go on the air on a Saturday evening, usually either Friday or Saturday evening, for about 2 to 3 hours. And we take you through a flight test build in only the best way that we know how, with comedy and slapstick humor and belittlement.
Or if you look at the last one, through grumpiness.
Yes, and through grumpiness, apparently. But in all honesty, we are going to market the next couple of build nights. We do have a tentative date already laid out. I don't want to announce that just yet. But we have a build night coming up. It is going to be a June build night, and it will key in perfectly for Flite Fest East. So we highly recommend that you join us for that. If you want more information, go on to ftccpodcast.com and you can find out more information there, and we'll have more of that on the Facebook page as it comes out. So next question, apparently you guys seem to crash a lot based on the next question, which is, how many FT planes have you built? And a lot of people have mentioned that they've built 10 or more, and they say, listen, I like them, and crash them a lot too. Yeah, that was a good portion. And a lot of people do build the FT planes. You know, this is an FT related podcast. We have been given the gracious blessing of Josh Bixler and the gang to do this podcast, to bring you guys FT related content. And that's kind of what we pump a lot of information from. So we hope that you guys continue to build FT planes going down the line.
Right.
Some other fun stuff to go through here. A favorite part of FT build nights, we had some great ones. I don't know if you guys can read that. Mike, Pat, can you read that okay?
Hang on.
Yeah.
Do you want to read this one right here, Mike?
Yeah, I can do that. It says, the best part of build nights is the interaction between all the people involved, not just the hosts, but the interaction with the people who are watching via comments. To me, it's all about the relationships and the chance to further interact with the flight test community.
So that,
right on.
Yeah, I mean, some of the, and that's why we said, you know, a lot of these comments that we have seen here in the survey have really, I mean, they've been really heartwarming. We really appreciate the comments and the feedback. And again, it's really helped us grow and develop and make the show better. And so this, moving on, this is where things get really entertaining for me as the guy who runs all the marketing side of things, is this one right here. It says, have you visited the FTCC website? Now, 50% of you said yes, which I appreciate it. But 25% said no. So I'm apparently not doing the best job of marketing this thing. There were a portion of people who said maybe, which worries me slightly. So you're not sure if
It's
you've
a
been...
secret.
Well, it's not even that. It's apparently the old website wasn't particularly memorable. And then 16 out of the 70 who answered this question said that they didn't even know a website existed. So apparently we need to do a better job with that. And then this is where it gets really interesting. So again, this is why we do our Flight Fest episodes, is for all of you, the 53% of you who said that you cannot come to a Flight Fest. This is why we do our prep and event informations and breakdowns, so you can feel like you're a part of it. And just going through the last couple of things, because I don't want to bore you guys to tears. We have a lot of you who have listened only between 1 and 5, so we're going to encourage you guys to go ahead and back listen if you can. You guys really enjoy the live shows. We appreciate it. We're going to keep doing them because we love the interaction with you guys.
Absolutely.
And it's one of our favorite things to do. Pat, can you go ahead? Can you read that comment right there?
The one that's highlighted in blue?
Yep. Hang on one second. Hang on.
Moving it.
I gotta find it. Hang on.
I can't read it and talk near the microphone at the same time, though.
Hang on. Gotta find the one I was looking for. Here we go.
Well, you're getting there.
Please let us know your favorite part of the live show.
Hang on. I gotta find it. Here we go. That's the one.
Being able to chat with the hosts and community live during the podcast.
Yep, that's our favorite part too. We love interacting with you guys, and that is why we keep doing it. Steven Rosema's here.
Steven
Yay!
Rosema.
what's going on? Sorry, had to call him out. Era Geeks here with us as well. How's it going, guys? A lot of you guys, it looks like, aren't subscribed to YouTube. If you're watching us live, please make sure you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please go to, ready for this, youtube.com/Flite Test Community Podcast. That's all one word, guys. Go to that YouTube, and guess what? Same one here. Ring the bell. Interestingly enough, I was surprised that I was expecting everyone who listens to subscribe for the podcast, and they do not. So 4 people answered no. I was very surprised at that. Anyway, the rest of the stuff is all marketing related, so we won't go into too much detail. But we did get some incredible responses to the survey. Want to give everybody a huge thank you to hang on, no, my phone's ringing. And yep,
It's probably Fred.
Yeah, probably. So with that being said, thank you to everyone who answered the listener survey. We just wanted to give you guys a taste of what we have received from you guys and some of the incredible comments. There are a couple more that we are going to dig into a little bit down the line, but I don't want to bore you guys to tears because I've already spent the last 20 minutes talking about the survey. But what does it mean to the rest of you from the survey's perspective? What it means is that survey information that you gave us, we're going to take all that in, which we already have. We are going to break it down, which we already have. And that means that we're going to produce excellent content for you. So there are some guests.
Which we have yet to do.
No, we've done it, kind of.
Oh, okay. But
we can. It's a process. It's continuing. We got to give them hope here, Pat.
It's a slow rollout.
Yes.
We don't do anything fast.
Listen, we've only just really got the website rolled out, so one step at a time. But anyway, so the website is the next thing that we want to talk about, and I want to kind of do it this way real quick before I dive into my stuff. Yeah, look at that. That is fantastic. We'll talk about that during host updates.
Luis.
I want to hear... Oh, hey, what's going on, Luis? I want to hear from Mike and Pat. Mike and Pat, what do you guys think of the new website?
I love the new website. Get it, Pat.
No, you go ahead, man.
No, I just love it.
It's great. It looks great.
So, you have 2 people
I wish somebody could finish spelling Bushwhacker, though.
Oh, no, I'm not going to finish. That's going to stay that way for a while.
It's an Ushwhacker.
Drives me crazy. It's an Ushwhacker, not a Bushwhacker.
No,
as long as he fixed calendar, I'm happy.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so as you can tell, it's a work in progress. But in all seriousness, the new website is totally different from the old one. Mike, would you like to tell our guests what the old website used to look like and what it used to be?
The old Wix website was crap. It was black and white.
True story.
The chat was terrible. It was awful. You couldn't do anything. We didn't
even have a contact us tab. That's how bad it was.
It was terrible. I hated it.
I think the other issue with the Wix site, and I think a lot of people feel the same way, we had a lot of responses on the survey that echoed it, is that we didn't have a URL. So everyone was going under my name on the Wix site. We couldn't interact live. We couldn't see the live chat. The live chat was delayed and lagging, and it went down a lot.
A lot.
So this is way better. Way better. So we are ecstatic to roll out as of today. Today is really the official release of the website because we've kind of been teasing it a little bit and we've been on the social media about it. But if you guys go to www.ftccpodcast.com, you will be greeted with our brand new website. And we just love it. It took me, 2 weeks? To build it,
about 2 weeks,
from the ground up, and we're not sponsored or anything by them, but nope. I do want to give a shout out to Squarespace. Squarespace, guys, if you need a website, this is based on user experience only. If you guys need a website, if you're looking for a place where you can do everything from hosting to all the way through to building out the site and the marketing of it, Squarespace handles the lot. So guys, please give some love to Squarespace. If you want a domain, you can buy it. If you want to build a website, you can build it. If you want to market it, you can market it. And so we've been using Squarespace. We really enjoy it. Again, this is not sponsored. This is just purely from us to Squarespace. Thank you, because our content looks incredible on there. So, Mike, when you go to our website, what do you find?
Well, let's see. The wonderful opening splash page, I guess you would call it, and it directs you around to maybe who we are. It'll take you to some, not all yet, but they will be there. Our podcasts, our previous podcast. Right now, I believe it's just the most recent 3 or 4, I believe. Yeah, 3. And also to a community page so you can look at some of the photos that I guess, I'm not sure where you got those photos at that's on there right now, but we're going to have more.
Collection that we had shared after Flite
in that
Fest.
folder.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then I think there's going to be a place just for more, content eventually. But God, it's so nice. And to contact us, of course. It's really easy to navigate. It's pretty nice. I'm really happy with it. So.
And of course, you can get to all of our social pages. At the bottom, we have navs to get you out to our social pages. At the same time that we launched the website, we just launched our new Instagram account as well. We're already up to 50 followers on Instagram, which is incredible for an Instagram launch.
We need to start using it.
Well, I told you to sign up for it, but you still haven't. It's okay. I'll take you through it after the show. But we have a lot of great followers. It is a lot of community-based posts. So if we see something that you like, if you follow us, we'll follow you back. And if you do that, and we catch something catches our eye that we want to share to the community, we will send you a quick message. Just say, hey, can we share this real quick? Just shoot us a quick message back. Yes. And we will regram that out, and we're going to get that out to the rest of the community, because again, our podcast is for the community, by the community. We want to see your content, and the only way that we're going to see it is if you follow us on Instagram. So our handle from now on most of the platforms, because we're slowly changing them out, FTC Podcast is the handle. So at FTCC Podcast.
God, I was going to say, don't forget the other C.
And here's the best part. Use hashtag FTCC, and we track that hashtag, which means that if you hashtag FTCC, we will also look to repost it. So please like and subscribe to that, and we will hashtag FTCC.
Hashtag, no more hashtags.
Hashtag, I will hashtag all I like. Hashtag, never going to stop. Hashtag, you got it, buddy. All right. So,
okay, enough of that.
Enough of that nonsense. Not Really Me says hi. We got Era Geek and Black Metal Dash joining us as well.
That's Rick.
Thank you, guys. Oh, it is Rick. Hey, Rick, what's going on,
and
buddy?
Rick left.
I was going to say.
He just bailed.
Oh, boo.
It's like, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning where he lives or something.
Yeah.
That's something crazy.
But that pretty much takes the first 2 bits of the podcast up. Let's go on to some last couple of little bits before we run into some Q&A. Let's do some host updates, because we haven't really done that in a little bit. So, Mike, why don't you get us rolling on your update? Because I've been talking a lot.
I can tell you that I bought 2 gremlins. I've already put one of them together, and I love that thing. It is so much fun. This thing is so much fun. If anybody hasn't got a gremlin yet and you want to fly a small quad, but you don't want to necessarily spend a ton of money on it, and like when you crash, break them and all that, well, guess what? With this gremlin, I have crashed this thing on concrete, in the grass, dirt, in the gravel, and I haven't even had to change a prop yet. It is fantastic. So everybody, go out if you want to. Man, these things are great. So I think I'm going to build the next one this week so I can bring it to Oh, I'm going somewhere this weekend, and that's a secret right now. We'll let Pat talk about that. But
Ooh, I get to talk about it. Oh, that's exciting.
yeah, I'll let you talk about it. Yeah. But yeah, that, and I did something really special this past week. I had to go to Clemson University for some training for work, and we got out a little bit early, and from Clemson to I'm trying to think of the name of the town, and I can't, where Triple Tree Aerodrome is.
What was going on at Triple Tree this week, Mike?
Well, there's this crazy thing called Joe Knoll. And I actually got to walk the flight line for about 4 hours. And oh my God, was it fantastic.
So first of all, I'm going to say I'm extraordinarily jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm jealous of everybody that was able to be there more than like 3.5, 4 hours, because it was not enough time to see a 10th or a 16th of what was there. It was incredible. Loved it. Got to see actually a few people from my area. Never expected to see that were there. So I got to hang out with them for a while. And then of course, got to talk to Chris Thomas for a little bit from Multi-GP. It was pretty fantastic to see him, talk to him. And in talking with him, he will be at Flite Fest OG 17 in Malvern, Ohio. I can't call it East. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't do it.
Well, it was the original, so yeah.
It's the OG, baby. We're all OGs around here.
That's right. That's the truth right there.
And then I also, while I was there, I was walking, I had heard about some guy, in case people don't know him, Jonathan Davis, a.k.a. Schizo, which runs around with the Rotor Riot guys all the time. Got to talk to him and finally shake his hand. And actually, surprise, surprise, I asked him if he would be on our podcast. And he said, you call me and tell me when, and I'll be there. So that's awesome.
That is awesome.
And for those of you who don't know who Schizo is, first of all, you're making my brain hurt. And second of all, Schizo has inspired so many FPV pilots that I think it would be an injustice if we didn't have him on the podcast.
Oh, I totally agree. That guy, I don't know if you guys watch a lot of FPV videos, but of all the videos that I watch, he is my favorite because he is just so smooth. You know, it's not all the jerky, just crazy. I mean, it's crazy. Don't get me wrong. The guy's a fantastic pilot, but he makes it look so smooth and so clean. And he's amazing. He's really a super nice guy too, by the way.
That's fantastic.
Very humble.
He paints the sky is what he does. There's no other way of explaining it. And I think we'll have him on and we'll do a little bit. We'll kind of tee it up. We'll have some community questions for him, but he is an incredible, incredible pilot. And I'm very excited. So first of all, Mike, thank you for doing that. And you owe me.
And by the way, in case you guys don't know, you can go out to our Facebook site, and I did 3 live videos from there. The first one was really quick, just saying, hey, look where I am. The second one was a pretty long video walking down the flight line, just showing off some planes and all that stuff. And then the third one was just a quick one with Chris Thomas saying hi and looking forward to seeing everybody out at Flite Fest. So, that's kind of what I've had going on, which has been plenty.
And I'm glad you have, because the beginning of the year was tough for you two. So I'm very, very glad that you guys have had your fair share of RC stuff going on, because it was very tough. It was very, very tough for you guys.
Yeah. First 3 months of the year was killer for me. So,
yeah, pretty much sucked.
Yeah, pretty much. Didn't it, Pat? Yeah.
Yep, the grumpy old man is speaking out. So, Grumpy Old Man number 2, would you like to fill us in of what you've been up to? I think you found a new, definitely a new side of the hobby that you are really leaning heavily in.
What's that?
You're sloping.
Slope soaring.
Sloping, yeah. I'm all about the slope soaring. I haven't done that in a couple weeks now. But it's very addicting. It's so much fun. I finally got to fly my weasel. If you were watching on video, you can see the weasel that I'm holding, my home built one,
I like it.
one.
I love that.
It's a blast to fly. Got a little scuffed up. The nose right there. Need a little. You know what? I'm just gonna put some tape on that, and it's good to go. It flew pretty well. It's kind of a weird thing where with this plane it seems to be a narrow band of wind that it really, really likes. It's flyable in light winds. If the winds get a little bit too heavy, though, it doesn't have the penetration. And it's all about adding and taking off ballast for that, basically. But it's the first plank wing I've ever flown. So it's very twitchy in pitch, but it's fun to fly, and I'm really happy with it, having built it. Me and my buddy Dave came over and we hot wired all 5 of them at once, and then I finished building them out. So I'm really happy with it. Got a couple of other slope wings. One slope wing over there. I had a fiberglass wing that I had at the first Flite Fest. That was real sketchy on CG powered. I mean, I flew it once, but it's a handful. So I didn't fly it again while there. So I took the motor off of it, and I've actually set it up for a slope wing for my buddy Dave to try to fly. I have yet to see if we can get that up in the air, but it should do pretty well, I think. So yeah, I'm all about sloping now, except that here lately I've taken on 2 new projects. One of them is pretty darn substantial in what it requires, and the other one is what I'm working on right now. I'm since Ben Harbor created that awesome F5, I figured there needs to be an adversary aircraft. And yes, Ben, I know, we talked about this. The F5 was never really deployed, but then you can go ahead and build a F4 Phantom to go against my MiG-21 that I'm working on here.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So it's based on it should be able to fly anywhere from a 64 to 90 millimeter EDF. Right now I'm just test fitting it with a 70 millimeter. Went through and laid it all out on AutoCAD. I did the calculations for components and CG, so I got the CG worked out. I really feel strong that I have that right. So it should fly pretty well as long as everything's square and true.
Nice.
Awesome.
We have a question from Dan to you. Have you tried the Weasel foam board plans out yet?
I have not, Dan. I know. I'm sorry. I'm bad. Wait, I wonder if Alex built one. I think he was looking at building one. I don't know. I haven't seen it if he did. So while I was building these, I just whipped up foam board plans based on the Weasel plan form. And I can draw in AutoCAD and all that good stuff, but when it comes to figuring out how to make things printable, and even worse, putting them into PDFs, I have no idea what to do. So Dan was kind enough to set those up nice and like in the flight test format and stuff. So I do have plans for the foam board Weasel. If anybody's looking for a sloper and wants to try them out, hit me up. Hit us up on our Facebook page or
Blake said he built one.
Blake.
Blake. Balake. Aaron.
Yeah.
Explain. Did you build it? Did you like it? What was wrong with it?
One. Exclamation point.
And now we got to wait 4 seconds for the lag to kick in.
4. It's like 25, I think.
Did we talk about this, Blake, or am I having an elderly moment?
He's
Meanwhile,
having a
while,
bike moment.
yeah, while we wait for his response, Pat, keep going with your update.
Oh, hang on, responding to Jim on here.
I was trying to minimize the amount of dead air. Thanks.
You can edit that out later.
There's not enough dead air.
Yeah, no.
Pat and I alone have more dead air, than
God.
anybody.
That's why I'm back, guys.
Honestly, we so miss Joel when he's not around because he's brilliant at filling those awkward moments where Mike and I just kind of stare at each other.
Yeah, but then again, I feel like sometimes I talk too much. If I ever get to talk too much, just shut me up, please.
Yeah, Blake says it has the same characteristics as the other one I guess the foam, the cutout one.
Fantastic. So, guys,
that sounds like he's being political about it.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for a really good fun sloper, then go build the Weasel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Weasel. Search it if you go on RC groups and you search. And it's spelled WISEL. I forget the thread name. It's something like the last sloper you'll need, or something like that. So
Thomas wants us to talk about Pat's fancy pants.
Yeah, what's with the fancy pants, Pat?
PJ pants, buddy.
It's because he's being
fancy
in bed
PJ
pants.
I've been in bed all day. You're lucky I even have pants on at this point.
Oh, not again, Pat.
Oh, please, let's not go there.
Oh,
let's not go there. Okay,
right,
we need to stop that.
And
then
continue with your update.
So,
Yeah.
the other project that I'm working on, and this one has been pretty time consuming. Just trying to get things worked out, is an EDF flying wing that was designed by Rick Kiersmakers from Belgium, and he was the Black Metal Dash that was on the YouTube chat earlier. He drew up this beautiful 3D EDF flying wing, and it did the lines of it for the EDF are so cool that I just like, dang, I want to build that. And he's coming over for Flite Fest this summer. And he's flying into Baltimore, and I'm going to pick him up, and he and I are going to ride out to Flite Fest together. So what I've done is first of all, he drew it up with a really big fat Clark Y airfoil, which is not good for a flying wing. It's got a lot of pitching moments, so you need a lot of reflex, which means you have a lot of drag. And it has the thickness of it would have created a lot of drag, and it would have been.
Aerospace engineer.
Yeah, it would have been rough to get that thing up and flying. I suspect once it was moving along, it would have flown fine, but the EDF being behind the power curve when launched could have been an issue. So I found a airfoil for it, and what I had to do was figure out how to incorporate that airfoil without changing the overall lines of his design, which was really hard to do. Boy, I wish I had a picture to show you guys, but I don't. I guess I could share it on my computer, but I'd have to find it. So I'll keep talking, and then I'll look for that, and we'll come back to it maybe. But the way it is there's the EDF is center mounted. And there's kind of a center fuselage section that blends like perfectly into the leading edge of the wings, has a nice sweep into the trailing edge of the wings. And the EDF, the opening for the EDF, actually, the air goes down into the fuselage and then goes out. And the shape of the EDF is just this really pretty kind of light slate arc. It's just a pretty design. So I had to figure out how to incorporate that airfoil without changing the overall line. So one of the biggest eye-catching things for me about this was when you look at it head-on, what he had drawn up, the bottom tapered up to the wings. Like typically when you like hot wire cut or build wings, they taper top and bottom. Well, this design, all the taper was up from the bottom, and it went the wing was mostly flat out to the tips, but there is slight dihedral to it. Mm-hmm. That worked great with the flat bottom airfoil, but didn't work well at all with the MH62 airfoil that I wanted to use. So what I had to do is I had him slice it up into 11 sections, the center section only. The wings are easy to do. But the center section, I had him take the 3D model and slice it into 11 different cross sections, each cross section 2 inches thick. It would have been less work overall had we gone with maybe 1/2 inch, but I had 2 inch. Well, I thought I had 2 inch thick foam on hand. Turns out it's 1.5, so I've got to go buy some 2 inch thick foam now. But yeah. So as I took the slices and traced the shape of each of those cross sections, which was tough because I'm looking at an STL file, which is just a mesh. And I tried to use Fusion, and I'm not familiar enough with Fusion yet, and I'm very familiar with AutoCAD. So what I did was I just did some measurements, did some fancy drafting stuff, and I incorporated the shape of this different airfoil into each of the templates. So I traced them out in his design. I marked where the airfoil that I wanted to use would be in elevation on those templates, and then modified, kind of keeping the sweep of the bottom up all in mind. So it was a lot of work. So now I am at the point where I have 11 different templates that I'm going to, actually 22 different templates that I'm going to make the 11 sections out of. And then they're all going to be glued together. And then there's going to be a lot of hand shaping to blend each section into the next section, because I can't just hot wire from one section into the next section. Like, that would be really easy, but then you would have like
steps,
straight lines, and it would look faceted as opposed to a nice blended shape. So that's what it's been a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I've wanted to build something with this method for a while, and this really caught my eye, and I said that's the one I want to try this out on. So the goal is to get the center section together and sand it into shape and the wings cut by the time he gets here before Flite Fest, and then we'll finish it up from there. That's it.
Just fantastic.
And yeah, so that's what I've been up to, and since Mike is giving me the permission to talk about our little trip coming up,
and making me extremely jealous at the same time.
This weekend, Thursday, we're going to convene in Canton, Ohio, and we're going to be out there through Memorial Day. So we'll be out Thursday through Monday, and we're going to be hanging out with Chris and Mike and those guys. Andre is coming into town, Andre Russo. So we will be hanging out with the RC After Hours guys. We'll be hanging out with the Flight Test guys. If I'm not mistaken, we'll be heading out to Chad's house one day and doing some flying there. So it's going to be a pretty awesome weekend.
And meanwhile, I am extremely jealous that you get to do that. Honestly, if I wasn't attending my brother's graduation, I would seriously consider trying to get out there to meet you guys.
Oh man, it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be fantastic. So please, Facebook Lives a lot.
I'm taking all my cameras with me
and vlog the heck out of it.
I'm going to, I'm going to take my. No, this is really not pre-Flight Fest. This is actually a chance to go out to Ohio,
boys weekend,
hang out with Chris, Mike Coolins, hopefully Wayne, Andre, and be able to hang out and talk with.
Yeah, to get a little, one-on-one time with some folks and have a nice conversation, not in the middle of a crazy event like Flight Fest.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard, and we want to be able to hang out with our friends, and we want to be able to hang out with our listeners and all the rest of the people there. But it's so hard when you only have so much time. So, I've been planning this for a while and talked to Chris for a long time. It was like, guys, I really want to come out and just hang out, because we camped almost right next. I mean, it was right next to Chris and those guys, and sat down with them for 3.5 hours Saturday night. I think that was it. And I really want to go do something. So
It's tough. It really is. Yeah, you know, I mentioned the same thing, Mike, after Flight Fest, because I may have spoken to them for all of 10 minutes. I think it was during the Radiant Gaggle is when I got the opportunity to actually stand and talk with Mike Coolins and Chris properly. I hadn't, you know, obviously hadn't met them until that point.
right.
And you're right. It is a great opportunity just to kind of break it down and catch up and be on a friends level instead of just a professional level. You know, we do have more of a professional kind of front when we're going around doing podcasty stuff, but also, you know, a lot of the flight test or the people who are involved with the community, a lot of the talk that we have is just strictly RC, and you know, it's nice to kind of break out of that a little bit from time to time. So I think it's going to be great for you guys to have the opportunity to kind of catch up.
We're going to have the opportunity to sit down with Josh and Jen and spend a little bit of time talking with them. And hopefully, if Stefan is still in town and those guys, I think Stefan's planning on somewhere for Memorial Day. But
yes,
you know, just a more calm, sit down, talk environment. You know, who knows what'll come out of it.
Yep.
Get to see Eric Monroe, who I haven't seen since Flight Fest last year, which is not nearly often enough. Eric and his family, his wife and daughter, just bought a house. So congrats to them.
That's fantastic. Congrats.
Yeah, I saw a picture on Facebook of him like installing a gas dryer in the
gas
house.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see Jim Bixler as well.
Yeah, we want to get out to if we can get out to the Bixler farm Thursday night fly. We're going to do that.
Oh, and by the way, I get in at 5:10, so
5:10. Okay,
I will be running out that airport to get in to take off, man.
All right. Well, it's not a long drive from the airport to the farm, so.
Yep, it should be good. All right. Well, I haven't been on for a little bit. I apologize. I don't want to take up a lot of time with my host CATCHUP, but I like Mike. I like Gremlins, and I like him. As soon as the Gremlin was announced, it caught my eye, and I love it. In fact, you know, Mike, that sticker is actually hanging up right here. When I get my webcam installed, I will be able to point it around right above my soldering iron is where that is.
You know what's interesting about mine when I got it in the box? I didn't get any flight test stickers in my box.
Oh, I didn't either.
Yeah. And I noticed when they like showed it on the build,
the unboxing, yeah.
When everybody unboxed theirs, well, guess what? They all had flight test stickers.
Yeah,
that's a complaint to customer service. Contact
Jen, Fred.
No, Jen, don't contact Jen.
No, we're not going to contact Jen. We're going to contact Fred.
Yeah, sure. That's right. Fred. You know, we've said his name 3 times. Watch him appear. Anyway, back to
will be.
Yeah, right. Back to the Gremlins. So, I have doinked this. I like to say I've doinked it because it really doesn't crash. It doinks. It goes and it just bounces and it keeps flying. I doinked this so hard that the lens of the Hyperion camera actually came off. And I was looking for it in the mulch because I was trying to power loop some monkey barbs. And I was talking about this in a live update. And when I was going through some stuff. And I have been having, as Mike said, a killer time with this. I was having some issues. I will say one thing, and heed this warning. Guys, seriously, do not go below a 400 milliamp hour 2-cell. No. If you can afford to, go up to a 3-cell. You will not be sorry if you do. One thing that the Gremlin motors do is they suck a lot of amps out of the flight controller. And so what? You okay over there, buddy?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you.
Just rearrange stuff.
Yeah. One thing I will highly recommend is keep your battery rating, your C rating high, because the motors demand a lot of amps, and it will pull amps out from other places. And one of those places, if you solder up to the 5-volt outsource on the microcontroller, you will lose power to the camera if you pump too much throttle through on a low C battery. So 60C plus is highly recommended. 400 milliamp hour battery minimum, and I highly recommend a 3S. That way you get plenty of power to the Gremlin at all times. One other thing for those of you, because Mike was using a Spectrum satellite receiver for his. Be very, very careful about where you mount them. It can be a little tricky. Did you end up decasing yours?
No, I did not. And I will tell you something else. Pay attention. If you get TJ's frame, pay attention on which side's the front and the back, because on the bottom of the frame, there are 2 holes in the back that you can run your
zip ties
antennas through.
Yep.
No, you run your antennas through. And I built mine backwards. So I took, being the FT guy that I am, I took 2 barbecue skewers and hot glued them and stuck them up through the top, and it works wonderfully.
There you go.
And I'm telling you, I have crashed this thing on the concrete, and guess what?
And they still haven't broken.
They're still there.
So,
and it still flies great.
So for the Spectrum guys, be careful. One thing I will say for those of you who are flying FreeSky or FrSky, as you can see in inside my Gremlin right there, that is an FM micro receiver. The thing is, I mean, you can see it compared to my fingernail. The thing is tiny. You can get it either in a 1 antenna or 2 antenna variant from Get FPV. I highly recommend it. It fits beautifully right on top of the flight controller with a little bit of double-sided sticky tape. And if you can look on my camera, I've got a little bit of a repair on the antenna to do. Again, really easy to do. Just a little bit of solder, and that will fix itself right up. Guys, if you haven't got a Gremlin and you're interested in getting into mini quads, this is a really affordable, really great, approachable way to get into mini quads without having to go into a 5-inch frame and suffering the potential pain and suffering. Again, like Mike said, these are the original props. It comes with a second set of props. I don't think I'm ever going to get to put a second set of props on this thing.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Yeah, it is, but I'm serious.
Well, I'm not going to say that, but I can guarantee you.
I'll probably crash it harder than so these props are probably going to be the one and only on this guy. But yeah, seriously, great product from FT. Thank you guys.
Yeah, mine weighs 101 grams all up.
Yep. So, and it we'll get to that during the Q&A, I guess. Anyway, this thing is my next subject. This, I have to say a huge thank you. He's in chat tonight, so I'm going to call him out. Mark South. Mark South is an amazing gentleman. I met him and his son while he was vacationing here in Florida back last year, and he sent me a gift in the mail for, I believe the intended was for Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. But of course, I moved, so he had to get my new address. So he sent this to me recently, and this is a technician class ham radio operator start guide and study material for the test. So I will definitely be starting to read this. I've already started. A big thank you, big shout out, Mark. Thank you. I know I wanted to get my butt off the ground to actually get started with this thing, and you have enabled me to do that. So thank you.
I wonder if that's the same video series. I have a buddy who's big into ham radio at my club, Tim Barefoot. And Tim, if you happen to be listening, you're awesome, man. He linked me to a website that they sell videos, but they also have some online stuff, and it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this has a DVD, this has video content, and it has some other content in here too.
Probably the same.
When you're done with that, Joel,
would you like to borrow it?
My way.
Hey, Mike, when you're done with it,
yeah, guess what?
And that's the beauty of a book. So, Mark, you have enabled all of us. So, thank you very much.
Mark's a great guy. We've spoken a few times on Facebook. He's a really good guy.
He was at Flite Fest. He
Mhm.
will be, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, you are returning with your son this year. And I think he had an RV last year, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he's planning on bringing that thing out again this year. There is something else I want to mention, and Eddie and I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a shout out to the guys at Rotor Riot and X-Hover. Now, as you guys probably know, I have been a big proponent of X-Hover because they produce that delightful little frame that I have sitting over there. And they produce some really great stuff. Rotor Riot obviously produces some great stuff. And they started a subscription box service to basically for FPV pilots, specifically quadcopter pilots. So they came out with something called the Quadbox, and Quadbox is a thing you can go on quadbox.com. The website is available. We'll probably link it in the show notes. But this is a subscription box service for about $25. You can get it shipped, and it includes all kinds of goodies inside for pilots. And you get a t-shirt, you get propellers, you get a tool, you get all kinds of stickers and things like that. So coupon codes, and included. See, Luminaire. I'm a big proponent of Luminaire stuff, but
I like Luminaire stuff.
nice little set. And included this time was a ton of Luminaire props, including more bussicusses. Now, I've already been flying with these, so it's fantastic to have an extra set. So thank you guys over at Quadbox. I don't want to do a full reveal, but I do want to mention, spoiler alert, if you guys haven't received your Quadbox, I highly recommend skipping over the next minute of this conversation, because this was included in the boost. And if you guys aren't familiar...
Are you kidding me?
So, RunCam.
Lucky dog.
So and this is what my next subject is what am I planning on? What is my next upcoming project?
Oh, so I know what you're going to do with it.
Yeah, I've already told you what I'm going to do with it. So, guys, this right here, this is a micro Swift. So, RunCam, just kid you not, 3 days ago, released this to the public. And it was already sent out in all of the boosted Quadbox subscriptions. I've already taken the sticker off of it. But this, guys, is the Micro Swift. It is the smallest CCD FPV camera on the market today. It weighs 5 grams. It is the lightest thing with a 2.1, yes, you heard me, 2.1 millimeter, oops, sorry, that way around, 2.1 millimeter lens. So it's a wide angle lens, which will mean it is perfect for what I want to do with this thing. So in another variant of my update, Fred Provost did a really, really amazing and lovely thing for me. He went to a swap meet that I could not attend up in Georgia, the big Georgia swap meet that they do. And he got me a Radian, which I'm very happy about, because I do not have a Radian. I have a micro Radian, which is appropriate because of my size. But I wanted a bigger one for this year. I was going to make it one of my 3 planes for Flite Fest. And a little episode came out recently from Flight Test, and it was related to the MiG-3. And if you are familiar with the MiG-3 episode, you would have noticed that they flew FPV cameras from the perspective of the tail. So what my plan is to take said RunCam with a signal line running down the tail of the Radian and flying a Radian FPV third-person view through the RunCam Swift. So that is going to be my pre-Flight Fest project, along with some other things that I don't want to spoil yet, but that is going to be the big one. Prepping up for Flight Fest is getting the Radian all set and ready to go. FPV ready, light ready. It's probably going to be my main ship for Flight Fest, and I'm really, really looking forward to having that set up and built out.
Cool.
Otherwise, a lot of flying. And the last addition that I will talk about is this. So first things first, the United States Postal Service and me are not getting along right now. In fact, I have a bone to pick with them. USPS, stop losing damn packages. It's a joke. So, little backstory, I ordered a Runcam 3. A Runcam 3 ordered, this was back in March. The Runcam 3 was announced. As soon as I saw the price, I was like, okay, gotta have it because I need a new action cam. And if I don't get one, I'm going to be pissed because I want to capture some great footage. I want to do some more vlogging content. I want to do some more content for you guys. How's the best way of doing this? It's an action camera. Stick it on the front of the mini quad. I can do flight videos. I can also use this as a vlogging cam. Great idea. Ordered it. It shipped April 11th from Boston, Massachusetts. Fantastic. Sorry, they're based out of Connecticut. It was going by Boston. It arrives on 14th of April in Boston and never leaves. I reached out to the Postal Service. I reached out to the vendor who I got it from. And first of all, the vendor who I got it from are amazing, and I'll talk about them later on. But I really love this vendor. They are super reliable, excellent customer service, and they offered to reach out to their postal rep. Their postal rep couldn't figure it out. I reached out to the Postal Service. My Postal Service couldn't figure it out. So we have open tickets all the way around on this thing, and they still, to this day, have not been able to recover this package. So I got fed up. So I reached out to my friends at FPV Direct, and FPV Direct offered a refund. I accepted it, and they offered a 20% discount on the camera when it comes back. So level of customer service, extremely good. If you guys haven't gone to FPV Direct, I highly recommend as an FPV source. Great source to get FPV stuff from. But I used the proceeds that I got from the FPV Direct refund and purchased this. And for those of you who cannot see, this is the next edition in my content creation. This is a session, and it's the V4. I'm very excited for it. A lot of great content is going to come off of this, flight videos, etc. I'm really looking forward to it. I was doing some testing with it today, and it seems to be up and running just fine, and we'll take it up to on my vacation this week, and we'll do some content testing with it. And we'll go from there. But you guys can expect some more content from me. I'm very excited about it. So, and unfortunately, the USPS royally screwed me, and I ended up getting something different. But I'm super excited about that.
And the other problem you got is now GoPro is suing Runcam for that.
Well, and the funny thing is, I don't necessarily know if they're suing them, but they put out a cease and desist because apparently they patented a cube.
Yeah, which is interesting.
It's very interesting. So we'll see what happens with that. We will definitely see what happens.
Speaking of court and stuff.
Yeah.
That was going to be my own. What a segue, this guy.
Thank you. Read your mind.
I'm good, aren't I?
Go on, Pat. Please continue that segue. You were on a great direction. Just keep going.
So, so the FAA's registration requirement was shot down in appellate courts this week, and that's a good thing in my opinion. It's now I've seen discussion on Facebook and such, where some people think to the contrary, but I don't understand the rationale behind it. But to me, it was a clear example of a government agency completely overstepping their bounds and doing something completely against the law. Mm-hmm. The law specifically says thou shalt not regulate model aircraft. Well, the registration requirement, first of all, they defined all model aircraft as aircraft. So they said, fine, we'll get around that we'll just give it a different name. We'll say anything that flies is an aircraft, therefore we have the right or the ability to regulate it. And that's a bunch of BS. So thankfully the courts rectified it. I'm sure FAA maybe it'll go into appeals again. I don't know. Maybe it'll go all the way to the Supreme Court. I don't know. But I thought the court's ruling on it was very sensible and very well written, and it laid out exactly what all of us have been saying in the community. This is totally counter to the FAA Modernization Act.
Yep.
So, yeah, appellate courts.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, and I do understand some people's, I guess, questioning of the whole thing, because now, I mean, you got a guy down in Kentucky that got his case thrown out of court for shooting down a DJI product, and because at the time it was considered an aircraft, the guy shot down an aircraft, and the judge in Kentucky decided to throw the whole dang thing out of court. So the poor guy that had the DJI product, he's out of DJI product because the guy shot it down, and I don't think that's right either.
No, it's not.
No.
But you know, regardless of whether you consider it an aircraft or not, then or now, you can't go around shooting people's possessions out of the air.
Sky. No.
Well, there's been 4 that's been shot, and all of them have been thrown out of court. So.
But you know, I kind of see both sides of things here. I was at a buddy's house about a year and a half ago or so, and somebody was flying a quadcopter or a tri or something over his house, and it was just kind of hanging there over his yard. You could clearly see that it was looking at the vicinity of his house, and it was a little uncomfortable. And, you know, I might have been inclined to hurl something at it, whether it was lead-based or a rock or what.
Well, the problem I have with shooting something down, I mean, you're shooting in the air, depending on where it's at, of course.
That's the big problem.
You have to remember that what goes up must come down.
And we live in an area. Their population density is pretty high. So, you know, there's a really high chance of somebody getting struck. And it happens almost every year here during deer season where somebody gets hit by an errant bullet.
Yeah.
Well, we had a girl last year get killed on 4th of July. I think she was 7 or 8 years old.
Right.
It was killed in a not so good area of town where some people were shooting up in the air, and a bullet come and struck her and killed her. So
it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And you know, I'm on the fence as well, because I don't consider what we do. I mean, they're aircraft, sure, but they're not what you would consider to be like a full-scale aircraft. So
they're not passengers,
and they're not. You know, but at the same time, it is personal property. I understand that, but you know, if you don't, when you purchase property, you don't purchase the air rights above your property. You know, that's regulated by the FAA up to a certain extent. But again, what I think the biggest takeaway with this, and I think this is where what we need to focus on, is the fact that as of right now, those of you who have previously registered your aircraft now are at a point where we can pull those numbers that we had, which technically those numbers do give our personal information to people if they recover those devices. So we can pull those numbers off and feel that our private information isn't going out to the public, which is a good thing. I think that there is still a lot of work to do. You know, because, and that's, you know, the biggest thing right now is the law still hasn't been able to catch up to technology. And I think that the biggest fight for lawmakers is to try and keep up with the times and keep up with what's going on.
Right. Without it's hard for somebody who is not really well versed in this area, in the area of multi-rotors, which most lawmakers aren't.
Exactly.
Most city officials aren't. So the easy thing to do is cast a huge net out and cover everything, and then your butt's covered.
Yep.
But you know, that's why this country is what it is, because we don't, you know, we there are certain processes that must be gone through, and if people don't agree with something, we have the right to speak out against it, which people did. 100%. And thank you to what was the guy's name? Was it
David?
John Travis? John David?
David something or other. But yes, Mike's doing the research real quick.
I can't remember. Huh? What's that?
Were you going to look it up real quick?
I can.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Sorry.
Thank you to that gentleman.
Yeah, seriously. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's based out of Connecticut.
No, Maryland.
Maryland. Yeah, I know it went to that
Silver
court
Spring,
system.
Maryland.
So yeah, no,
I used to work there.
That's funny. My brother is currently residing there, which, funnily enough, is where I'll be this week.
Oh, yeah. I know the area well.
Yeah, then there you go. That's exactly where I'll be.
So you will be spending time in DC then.
Yes, that's why I said we're staying in DuPont. Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely
DuPont Circle. Yeah, that's a nice area.
It's a beautiful area.
My wife and I stayed there when we were down in DC for a few days.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
It's fabulous. We're super excited about it. But I, as I said, I think that we're moving in the right direction in terms of being able to regulate. I don't like calling them drones, but specifically camera operated aerial cinematography platforms. DJI being the most well known of that type. But I was in Best Buy the other day, and that's where all the aerial cinematography stuff is currently on display. It says, they've got branding associated with it, which says "Let's Fly." They've got the FAA information on those banner ads. They're starting to get better about soliciting people for training.
John Taylor.
John Taylor. Thank you, sir. John Taylor, thank you very much for all of your hard work and probably hard-earned money. But again, I think that we're moving in the right direction. Regulation is maybe the right direction, but registration isn't the right direction. I think I don't know, I don't believe we talked about it a lot, but Orlando recently put out a citywide ordinance stopping people from flying all kinds of aircraft model and full-scale aviation. And that ordinance,
that's going to become a problem.
That ordinance is it may be a problem for those who want to do flying multi-rotors for a living, but if you're a photographer, yeah, I can understand, because you have to then get licenses and all the rest of it in order to do what you're doing to make money. So from that perspective, I get it. But also, you don't necessarily want these things flying around our cities either. Again, I'm on the fence about it. I feel like if you are licensed with an FAA registration, Part 107, you should be exempt from these rules because you've already gone through the training. You already understand the dangers. You already know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing.
Exempt from the rules, except you can't break the rules, such as flying over a crowd or flying over people who are unaware that you're there.
Correct. So, and also, I think a big thing is, highlighting the fact that you're the pilot. I was at a race recently, and there was a DJI Phantom over the runners as they were going through the start line. And, the biggest thing is that I knew where the pilot was because I was looking for him. And so I went and I was like, okay, you're the pilot. And I went and asked him, I was like, okay, are you Part 107? And he said, yeah, he was Part 107. But at the same time, you're flying over people. You're not wearing a jacket saying that you're an FAA registered pilot for this quadcopter. So how are people going to know that it's okay to do that? And it's not. And, I think moving forward, we've got a lot, as I keep mentioning, I think we've got a long way to go. And I think the biggest thing that we can emphasize is talk to your congressmen, talk to your local area officials, talk to your city councilors, write letters, talk to them, meet with them, bring in something as harmless as this, a gremlin, a tiny whoop, something small that you can put a pair of goggles on them, fly them around and say, this is really what this is. These are harmless. And I think we'll have less problems because people will begin to understand the technology better. It's just tough. It's really tough. It's a tough call. But moving on, I think this is an open discussion. I think we've got a long ways to go, but I kind of want to, for the last little bit of the show before we move on to our calendar, I wanted to kind of open up the floor to everybody and see if you guys wanted to do a little bit of Q&A. I did spot one question earlier that I did want to bring up, which was Geek, and he asked if anyone is flying on the DRL simulator. And I noticed, Mike, you began to answer that in chat, but do you want to tell everyone what sims you're on?
Well, right now I'm really on liftoff only. I didn't realize a DRL could be used on a Mac, so I'm going to go look at it anyway and play with it a little bit. I'm really starting to enjoy liftoff much more than when I first started. It's been I've been getting better at it. Let's put it that way. So, and of course, I think flying this little guy
is only making you better.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, it is, and I am loving quads much more now. I was, I wanted to get into them way back for the aerial photography part of it, but I'm gonna say that the little freestyle race style quads, man, they're getting fun.
Yep. And the nice thing is what you're on is a really good training platform for a 5-inch frame. And when it comes time, I will happily help you build that out. Funny story. I as funny as the little things are, I know we're changing the subject ever so slightly, but Dale Stratton actually reached out to us, and he specifically to people who were able to help him with a multi-roast problem in the beta builder chat. And I was online, so I was like, hey, I can help you out. What are you having an issue with? And he was having an issue updating the firmware. And I jumped on right away, was able to dive in and help him out. And he had the problem resolved in 5 minutes because I knew what to look for. And, it sounds silly, but it's the little things, the little hurdles that are the most difficult challenges to get over in multi-rotors. So I'm glad that he was able to get over that hurdle. But, there are little hurdles along the way. And, Mike, I'm there for you. And I think I definitely want to help you on your journey for 5-inch.
Sure. Well, I can tell you, after doing all the building of the Gremlin and in the places I need a little bit of help, I got to thank you, Joel, and I also have to thank, oh my God, was it Andres Lou?
Yes.
I have to thank him as well because he reached out to me as well. And this thing flies like a dream. I love it. Yep. And by the way, we did have another question that I do want to get to on the Gremlin. Jim CR120 asks, he asked about flight times on the lipos. So I can tell you that I am flying the Hyperion, the 25C 450 milliamp 2S, and I'm getting between 3.5 and 4 minutes out of them, and they're at about 375 to 380,
which is where you should be bringing them.
Yes, and I'm telling you, I can punch out, I can do flips and rolls, and I haven't power looped yet, but it's a matter of time. I'll get there.
You'll get there.
But I abuse this thing. Matter of fact, I took it out yesterday, flew 2 packs through it, and I actually was flying FPV, and the wind caught me, and before I knew it, I was probably 150 yards out, and I was having trouble with my goggles because I've got that old stupid set of teleporters that are just awful. But I was getting where I couldn't see, so I took them off and tried to bring it back line of sight. Now I'm going to tell you something. That Gremlin at 150 yards is a gnat. But thankfully, I had got it close enough back to me that I could see it because I use my ground station as a, so I can record because I just got an ADR on it. And I brought it back, and I actually got it back, and I was really, really happy because I was like, man, it would take me forever to find that thing in the field that I'm flying in.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, is that because of their size, these are not line of sight machines by any stretch.
Oh, they can be.
They can be, but honestly, they are definitely designed to be flown FPV. As I said, you definitely don't want to go any lower than 400 milliamps battery wise. As I was saying earlier, you want to say 400 and above. And you kind of want to keep the C rating higher. What did you say? It was a 25C you're running?
Yeah, it's just 25C, 450s. I really want to get some 3 cells.
Yeah.
I actually have some. I was watching a video yesterday, and this guy was flying some 800 3 cells.
Yep, and what I'm tempted to do is I'm tempted to change the JST out to an XT30 and switch over to a 3 cell just for giggles and just to try it out. And I will say, if you have experience, you can jump to a 3 cell. Don't fly it indoors on a 3 cell. You will be smashing into the ceiling.
I'll tell you, don't do it on a 2 cell unless you got a big house.
Yeah, exactly. Because our little places aren't big enough for it, right, Mike? But yeah, no, and that's the thing is, the journey to multi-rotors is especially challenging, especially for those who don't have the funds or the resources to be able to do it in one swing. You got to kind of progressively get there. Things that I've kind of learned along the way with diversing the subject again, but things I've learned along the way: get a basic set of goggles just to get you off the ground, because you don't need a fancy one to get in the air. You don't need the latest and greatest in terms of tech. You just need something reliable.
Mine are going to be for sale very soon. Matter of fact, I'll probably bring them to Flite Fest.
There you go. There you go. But guys, again, you don't need the most modern stuff. I'm still, to this day, running 2204 2300 kV motors on my Sybil and having a whale of a time on 4 cell. That quad is still flying exactly how I want it to fly. You don't need the latest and greatest tech. You just have to have something that you really are comfortable with flying. That's the honest truth.
Yeah.
But again,
I got some 2204s, 2300s that I'm going to put on a quad.
There you go. See, I told you. You stick them on, because the truth is, flight controllers are so good now. As long as you get a good F3 or an F4 board and you wire it up right and tune it a little bit, you guys are all set. I mean, that's the honest truth. That most stock tunes now are pretty great out the gate. But if you take a little bit of time and you learn the tuning process, and I was able to actually help Mike with a little bit of tuning in the Gremlin, because one thing that these things are super twitchy on, believe it or not, is yaw. And if you have stock yaw PIDs in your Gremlin, you will have twitchiness when you go to yaw. It will do a little bit of bounce back. And so to prevent that, if you increase your I by 5 points and you increase your P by 2 points on the yaw axis, it will lock that right up. In fact, we did that to Mike's right out the gate. Actually, he flew it a couple of times. I said, Mike, trust me. As soon as you can, go ahead, put these PIDs into your machine. He put them in, and he was like, "Wow, you just took all of my twitchiness right out."
Oh, that thing is so fantastic. But anyway, yeah, we would like to see 5 minutes too, but I don't think we're going to see 5 minutes on batteries for a while.
No, absolutely.
Not until battery technology gets much better, and it's getting better all the time. So
that, and also, if you want to push the 5 minute mark, you're going to need bigger than 400. Honestly, the machine probably cannot pull anything larger than 800. But again, the thing is, the bigger the battery you get, the more mass that's on the machine, the less chance you have of pulling it out of the sticky situation. So if you're in a power loop and you're trying to pull out of it, you're going to use a lot of throttle, which is going to draw a lot of amps. It's potential for the video feed to drop, and also not providing enough voltage because of voltage sag. That's a real thing. The batteries can only handle so much of the sag, and if the motors are pulling too much and the ESCs are pulling too much, you're going to lose power in other areas. And guys, these aren't designed, I mean, they're designed for freestyle and things like that, but you don't want to be sticking big batteries on these things.
Yeah, and be careful with 3 cells as well, because a couple of people that I've talked to that used them said the motors do get kind of hot. So watch.
Drop your Ds, guys. If you're going to put the 3 cell on, drop your Ds down, because even in the smaller machines, your D gain is going to be way too high for these little motors. Your windings are not going to be out. The ESCs will pump out those results, and the motors they'll be also correcting way more than you want. Drop your D gains by about 10 points across the board. You may get a little bit of negative effects, but you can fix it with a little bit of P and I. And sorry for those of you who don't understand the language I'm talking about. I apologize profusely, because it is a whole nother language. And when we have John on the show, we'll probably get into some of this more technical stuff. So be warned, because that will be a very technical show.
We've got
just tune out like I'm doing right now.
Michael Hetrick and Chip are both asking for the PID tuning that we're talking about in the show notes. So put it in the show notes. And we'll not continue to talk this, because it's over my head too.
Yeah, I will happily do a dump of my PIDs, and I will post them in the show notes for you guys with pleasure. So
what other questions we got, guys? While we're talking about this, you got more stuff.
Real quick, I just wanted to go back to the DRL sim. Because we got the second question right after. Eric, I'm having real issues with the DRL sim. It requires a shoot ton of graphics that I apparently don't have. So I actually also, like Mike, run Liftoff. One thing that I love about Liftoff now is that it's running the same PID controller as Betaflight. Mm-hmm. So you now get Betaflight in Liftoff, which means that all the machines that you run outside the game now run like the machines in the game, which is fantastic, because it means that you can practice tuning in the game, and then you can take that knowledge and you can bring it out to the real world, and you can race very, very similar to the way you do in game. So that's fantastic. Any other, as you said, any other questions? Or Pat, what are you up to?
I'm cutting the horizontal stab template and the tail template out for the MiG-21. That's what I'm up to.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Hey, when are you going to get quad in the air, Pat?
Maybe I'll bring this one out. You know what? I'm going to bring the quad that you guys got me out to Ohio this week.
Okay, good.
So basically,
we'll have help. You know what we'll do? We'll hand it to TJ Friday and go here and fix it.
All I have to do is say, hey, TJ, give me some reverse threaded M5s, and then it'll be good to go.
That can be arranged. I'm sure FT has a stack of them somewhere. But guys, any other questions or anything like that before we wrap this show up?
Well, AeroGeek's asking, what graphics card do you have?
Whatever is in the MacBook Pro.
Wow, I'm surprised that doesn't have the power to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't. Really. This is a 2012 machine. It wasn't designed.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
wasn't designed for the high intensity gaming that is coming through now. I can run Liftoff, no problem, but DRL, it doesn't like it.
Boy, do I miss the Mac.
Yeah, I love this thing.
I love my Mac, and I've been a Windows guy forever. But God, I love a Mac.
Speaking
nice.
of guys who are transitioning from Windows to Mac, Tim Michael, the LC newbie, reached out to me today. Guess who's converting to Mac?
Yeah, I saw him playing with his iPad Pro.
Yep,
that boy loves that thing.
Yes, he does. In fact, today I was talking with him. He's not only fully converted on the iPad, he now has a full Adobe suite set up on a MacBook. A MacBook like you have, Mikey.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, Dan Spons. That's an excellent idea. You should at least mention the Baby Hawk for those who want to start on brushless micros.
Yeah, the Baby Hawk's a good one, too.
So the Baby Hawk is an Emacs product also. Flight Test carries it. It is the exact same power system with a ready-to-fly camera $99, ready to fly.
Yep,
all you
ready
need
to
to
go.
do, all you need to do is add a receiver, and you are good. So, for those of you who are interested in a ready to fly option for the same type of multi-rotor experience size, that is the way to go.
Yeah, that's the only nice thing about it is it's ready to go. You don't really have to do a lot to it, Chip. But I want to know how to do everything, and I'm getting better at it all the time by doing the builds on these. And I need to continue that path only because when I start getting into the bigger ones, I understand what in the world I'm doing.
Yep. And
this one was so easy. I can't get over, other than the fact that it's small. And that's something I'm going to warn everybody. If you get one of these gremlins and you put it together yourself, you need two things. You need a good soldering iron with a nice pointed tip. Second thing you need is
tweezers,
something like this.
Yep.
So you can see those little boards.
Yep. The other thing I will highly recommend as well for those who are getting into multi-rotors, as well as a basic thing to have in your toolkit, are electronic static proof tweezers like these. These I got off of Amazon. You can get them in a pack of 5 for like $6, and these are fantastic for not burning your fingers. Instead of helping hands, these things are much easier. The other thing I will recommend from Amazon is the Xtronic 3020. This is a soldering station and controller. It is fully adjustable by temperature. You can set the temperature on it. It's a fantastic soldering station. Brilliant as well. And another thing, guys, for those who are soldering, 60-40 solder only, leaded solder. Do not try using anything else. You will deeply regret it. All right, so that was my little spiel.
Yeah, I was just telling Chip that I use the Spectrum FPV serial receiver that's got the 3.3 volt auto bind.
Yes,
that thing is fantastic.
Is that Chip or is that somebody else?
Chip. It is Chip. Charles Hunter is
Charles is Chip.
Wait. You mean he's been lying to me about his name this whole time?
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know what to say about this. Charles.
Yep.
Charles.
And for
you
those,
know how hard it is to call him Charles?
Yeah, right. And for those, really, I was like, wait, is this Chip? Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, right here in the middle, this is, again, I'm going to repeat it for those of you who missed it earlier. This inside of mine is the FM micro receiver from FreeSky. It is the smallest thing. It binds up under D8 mode on your Tyrannus, and it binds up real quick. It's a long-range receiver, not diversity, but who needs diversity on a machine this big? So yeah, guys, that's the way to go. Either Spectrum satellite or micro receiver from your favorite radio system. They are, of course, we highly recommend S-Bus for these builds. Much easier. Another thing, you do not have to run D-Shot on the ESCs. So I am actually running one of the older firmwares for the or protocols, I should say, for the ESCs. You don't need D-Shot. You can run it off the old way of doing it. But one thing real quick on the Gremlin, promise this is the last thing. Guys, go ahead and make it easy on yourselves. Go ahead and direct solder the pads to the
direct solder everything.
Direct solder, and then fix your rotation in software later. Much easier. So go ahead, solder straight, and fix in software after the fact. It's the best way of doing it.
Thought I had my.
Yes,
oh, well.
Jim, you are correct. TJ does use the satellite in the build video.
Yes, he does.
So
I've got another satellite around here somewhere for my second Gremlin, and I can't find it right now.
Last questions. Yeah. Anyone? Final call. Last questions. Yeah, one shot, 125.
Yep.
You do not need to use D-Shot. The big and for real quick, for those who are wondering why I'm not using D-Shot, digital protocol is finite. You get ones and zeros, whereas with analog, you get a nice flowy line. So for machines like this, which are this small, if you're running it on D-Shot, it's seeing sharp spikes in the signal line, and that means that any D-gain that you have in your PID controller is going to look at that and say, what? And your motors are going to chirp and chime and will come down hot every single time. Yep. So I am running one-shot 125. The analog signal works just fine on the little guys. You do not need to run D-Shot.
There is something that I have to we should talk about.
Okay.
Get the last thing before we go.
Yeah, a couple of things. Two last things before we go. One, Josh Orchard made the Bugatti. If people haven't seen,
oh my god!
How did we forget?
Oh my god!
And
thank you, Pat, for saying that.
Wow. Once it was up, it looked like it flew really well. The takeoff was hairy. That's a serious pucker factor because, man, it went up and looked like it was all kinds of tail heavy. But those counter-rotating two motors just pulled it right up and out.
Oh, yeah, thank God.
Link in the show notes to that video.
So now he is at the point where he is putting crazy detail on the thing.
Yes.
Rivets and bolts.
Rivets in the... Oh, my God, it was incredible.
Yeah. Guys are
and nuts. For those of you who want to weep a little bit and cry a little bit, go watch it. We'll have the link in the description. And
also, Carl Leidick has been working on a Wild Plains T38 model. It's a 47-inch span model, T38 Talon. It will be the first one to fly. It will be the first one of the Wild Plains T38s to fly, which is pretty darn cool. He did a taxi test on it earlier this week. Orchard went down. Yeah, he lost the wheel. And then again today, he and his wife went out and I'm sorry, they didn't take the T38 out. He has rebuilt his P40 that he crashed on, that slammed into the fence on the last maiden takeoff. He tried to maiden that on earlier this week, the same day that he tried to do the T38, that the wheel didn't quite work out with him. And the plane lifted off early and dropped the tip, and he busted up a landing gear. He repaired that, went back out today to try to remaiden, and didn't the same thing happen. It's just getting off the ground prematurely. So he's kind of scratching his head, and I suggested maybe put in some down thrust, check your decollage. But it seems, I don't know, I haven't seen the video, but to me, what might be happening is, it's in ground effect, and it's probably got a crazy powerful motor, and the motor is pulling it up off the ground, but once it gets out of ground effect, it doesn't have enough airspeed to sustain it in the air. It stalls and goes back down. So, and he really is having a hard time keeping it on the ground to get up enough speed. So that's he's working it out. He said
that's an interesting problem, isn't it?
In the air.
Yeah. That is.
Well, I think part of the problem too might be it's a grass field, and if you watch the videos, the planes bounce around a lot, even though it's rolled, and it's probably, for a field, probably pretty well manicured.
We'll keep that one quiet, Jim, because he'll get really, really angry with you.
No, it's stalled. It just is a stall. It happens out at the tip.
That makes me laugh every time I see tip stall. Every time. God, that's funny. We love you, Pat.
Such a misapplied term.
You know what's funny?
People use it like it's a whole phenomenon for stall. It's just a plane with a nasty stall habit. That's it. Sorry, I'm back now.
It's okay, Pat. You can stay bitter about it.
Yep, absolutely. We want you to.
I know you do. You just want so anyway, that was the update from those guys. I think Carl was feeling a little spicy over the whole thing today.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So he'll get it worked out though.
Did he put up a video today? Is that how you know about it, or did you talk to him?
I talked to him.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he didn't put up a video. He's like, I'm not putting up a video until I get this thing in the air. So
Good for him.
that's what I say.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this is as good a place as any to kind of wrap it up for this show.
Yeah.
We do want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's been following along with us and joining us. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a very special sign out tonight because we got some really, really super exciting stuff happening. So if those of you remember, last year we did a very, very special series of FT Flight Fest prep shows. We did 3 of them. This year, we've actually only elected to do 2 because we are bringing you something really, really special for the next show. And I mean really special. If you guys are following along with what Flight Test is doing, they are working with a group based here about 45 minutes south of me in a place called Lake Wales. The company is called Aviator PPG.
PPG, yep.
And the guy, Eric Farwell, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. Last year, he came up with a group of pilots who were especially good, those who were graduates of the aviation program, training program. And one of those gentlemen was a young lad by the name of Tucker Gott. And Tucker is now known in the community because of Alex Zavada's mention on a vlog of favorite YouTube channels. Tucker specializes in showing all of his incredible flights from his paramotor.
He makes fantastic vlogs from flight. It's beautiful.
His content on YouTube is
phenomenal,
stunning. And by stunning, I mean you have to watch it. If you have it, as soon as you finish listening to us, which I promise is like 5 minutes, you are going to his channel and you are going to subscribe. What is amazing, though, about Tucker is not only a member of this team, which is called Paradigm. We'll let him talk about that more next time. But Tucker Gott and his girlfriend, Jacqueline, are going to be on the show to talk exclusively about paramotors. And we are super excited to bring a collaborative show between FT and Aviator PPG with the Paradigm team and the Flight Test Community Podcast. So we are welcoming Tucker Gott on the next show, guys. So please go ahead, tune in June 4th, 8 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Central. We will have Tucker and Jacqueline. We're going to post a thing on Facebook so that you guys can pop in some community questions as well as having the live chat. But seriously, guys, please, if you haven't already done so, find Tucker on YouTube. Please go ahead, subscribe. We're going to have a lot of content between him and us over the course of the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. Also, we have a build night coming up. Follow us on Facebook for more details on the date because we haven't fully locked that in yet. But please, the June build night is coming up and we are super, super excited about it. Ben and Eddie have done an amazing job reaching out to a specific individual for the next build night. And we are very, very excited for what that is. For this one. If you guys are into any of what's going on in the community, you will not want to miss this. Again, that's coming up. We're thinking around mid-June. It's tentative at the moment. We're locking down a date once we have the date firmed up. Ben and Eddie will announce it formally on Facebook, so stay tuned on that. So follow us on Facebook, guys, if you haven't done so already. Again, we are now officially on Instagram, so follow us at the handle FTCC Podcast using hashtag FTCC if you want your content shared. Guys, you can find me on Facebook at Joel Cannon. You can also follow me on Instagram at BabyBritFPV, and same thing on the Twitter and on the FT stuff. You can also see my latest article from FT, which was an intro to Fusion 360 for radio control, by searching that in the article section on Facebook. Link in the description. Pat, you want to go next?
What am I doing?
Signing off.
Good night, everybody.
No, you goober. Social pages, my friend.
You can find me on Facebook. It's my social page.
He's so helpful.
Patrick
Yeah,
Sean Murphy.
Patrick Sean Murphy on Facebook.
That's it.
And Earthside Teach in the
On
forums.
the forum.
On the forum, right? Thank you for your help, Mike. I forgot
He
about
needs
that.
serious help. Mike, will you please share your social feeds for the world?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Michael Finley on Facebook. Of course, you can get a hold of us through the FTCC Facebook page as well.
Mhm.
On the forums, I am the Magic One. It's THEMAJIK, and you can find me there. I read a lot. I don't post a lot, and also on YouTube, it's the Magic One. Just search the Magic One as I spelled it, and you'll probably find me on most everywhere. So
Yep.
It's magic with a J.
Yep.
yeah, MAJIK
Yep.
and the number one.
And again,
that
Instagram for Mike Finley as well is the same one. The Magic One is his handle.
Yep.
Guys, we are super excited to bring you additional content. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and visit our website at ftccpodcast.com. For all future events, visit ftccpodcast.com/events. If you guys want to reach out to us, you can find our Contact Us page through the website or email us at ftcommunitypodcast at gmail.com. For all questions, concerns, and all that good stuff, we really appreciate any and all feedback. If you guys haven't done so already, go ahead and leave us an iTunes review. If we find that iTunes review, we love them, and we will read them on the next show. Guys, we really appreciate you guys liking and subscribing all of our video content on YouTube. And if you haven't done so already, we really appreciate it if you go ahead, subscribe, and of course, ring the bell for all that live notification content. Guys, from the FTCC, we are going to go ahead and sign out for the evening. Blue Skies.
One more thing.
Before we go, Blue Skies, go on.
We are at like 380 or 780 likes on Facebook. Let's hit that 800 mark.
Let's push
Come on,
800
guys.
for the
We can
next
do
show.
it. We
Let's
can do
push
it.
800.
So thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Blue Skies, and we will see you on the next one.
Good night, everybody. Hey, Jim, it's www.ftccpodcast.com. I tried to post it in the chat, but it
won't let you in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, annoyingly, and probably because of the fact that it's a website here. We'll spell it out. FTCCpodcast.com. See you guys on the next one.
Bye, everybody.